Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild reporting for KGFW. We are at Memorial Park in Fairfax, and I think we should go and review some of the ball players. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Angel Munoz.
Do you play on this team, Angel?
Bat Boy this year.
The Bat Boy. Is being the Bat Boy very fun?
Well, yeah, it's very hard though. You have to put the bats away, the helmets, to catch his equipment.
Thanks a lot, Angel. We'll talk to you in a little while. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Gary Hess, manager of the Fairfax Cardinals.
How long have you been manager of the Cardinals?
This is my 17th year with the Cardinals.
What's your favorite memory from baseball?
My favorite memory as far as playing would be 1976 when a guy by the name of Ken Schrader hit a grand slam to beat this team here tonight, Stark, over in Stark, to advance to the state tournament. And as far as my managing, I would say 1989 was probably the year I remember the most. I think we hit 55 home runs as a team.
That's pretty good.
That was an excellent year.
How good is your team this year? How good is it?
Oh, we started out a little slow. We've added some younger players to the team, and right now we're gelling pretty good. We've got some pretty good pitching, and I look for us to make some fire come towards the end.
What's your favorite position to play?
Oh, my favorite position was second base.
Who were one of the people that taught you how to play baseball?
The guy that I learned all my baseball from, his name was Laverne Listman. He was my Phi-Ed coach at Fairfax High School, and went on to play with him in amateur ball. He was the shortstop, and I was the second baseman.
Thanks for the interview, and see you later.
All right.
Hope we win.
All right.
Oh, you do the interviewing, huh? Oh, good. Wow.
Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with...
Oh, I'm Curt Sampson, and I'm with the Fairfax Cardinals. I'm from Hector, Minnesota, and I guess I'm going to try throwing tonight.
Do you know any of the people that are signing the autographs, Tony Oliva?
Oh, yeah. Those guys have been my coaches at teams I played on for 10 years in Florida. So Tony Oliva and Julio Becquer, and then Juan Berger when he gets here. Those all have been my coaches, and we have teams down there, and I've been doing that since 1992.
How long have you been playing baseball?
Well, ever since I was your age, but then I quit from about 1962 or 3. I quit until 92, and I just played softball then in between. Then I started playing baseball again at 92.
What was your favorite memory from playing baseball?
Last year, definitely, right here. It was my 70th birthday, and the guys were going to let me pitch against the same team, and I thought if I'm lucky I'll get through an inning or two, and I got into the 7th inning and then came out, and then Juan Berger came in to relief. So I gave a 1 earned run, I guess, last year in that outing. So that was probably the biggest thrill. I've had a lot of good thrills in high school and stuff too, but that was a big one.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I suppose a name like Sampson, I shouldn't have done it, but I got a haircut today. Does that mean anything to you? I'm probably going to be weak.
Oh, thanks and good luck pitching. Victor, what are you doing tonight?
You can see over there. They're going to take the photos of from kids. So if kids wants to go over there to take their pictures, some people could feel like it to do it.
Thanks, Victor. This is
Dark Star.
Dark, where do you live?
Live down in the cities, and got a chance to come up here and watch the Cardinals play tonight in this beautiful ballpark, and just nice to be on your show.
Do you know any of the players that are signing autographs here today?
Tony Oliva I've known for a long time. He ought to be in the Hall of Fame. They should put him in the Hall of Fame pretty quick. And Julio Becquer, the other guy, won the Gold Glove, best fielder, in 1966, I believe. Yeah, that's right. So I've known these guys for a long time.
Have you ever played baseball when you were a kid?
Yep, I played, I was a shortstop and a pitcher in high school, and I played Legion ball, and it's like town ball here. We had a league like that after you got done with Legion ball, and I played a lot of softball. But then I started eating 4 times a day instead of 3 times a day, and it kind of slows you down a little bit.
What's your favorite memory from the game of baseball?
I think the first Major League Baseball game I ever saw was in Crosley Field in Cincinnati. That was in 1950. I was 4 years old, I think, or 4 or 5, something like that. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. The beautiful field and the crowd and the whole thing. And it was opening day. And my dad took me, and it was a lot of fun.
Who were the 2 teams playing in that game?
Cincinnati and St. Louis. Cincinnati used to play, the Cincinnati Reds used to play the first game of the season every year because they started in 1869. They were the first Major League Baseball team. So in the olden days, back when there were only 16 teams, or 8 teams in the American League, 8 teams in the National League, the Reds always played first. That was a tradition in baseball.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me on your show. Good luck to you. Now listen, when you get about 2 or 3 years older, don't come around trying to steal my job now. I need the money.
Okay. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Kevin SCHAEFER from Fairfax.
Have you ever played baseball when you were a kid?
Sure did, Little League.
What's your best memory from playing Little League?
From playing Little League, switching from aluminum bat to wooden bat and able to crack it out of the park. Wooden bat always got it out of the park for me.
What was your favorite team when you were growing up?
Yankees. Yep. Honest answer. Honest answer.
We're making hamburgers. See that?
Yep.
12 at a time. Cooked to perfection.
What's your favorite memory from playing baseball?
Favorite memory? I think when we beat the Kaiserhoff, New Ulm here, in extra innings, 12 innings.
It looks like you're busy. We'll let you get back to work.
Thanks for the interview.
Welcome.
We'll see ya.
See ya. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Steve Winsmeyer.
What's your favorite memory from playing baseball?
My favorite memory is from 1976 when Fairfax beat Stark in the region tournament to go to the state tournament for the first time in 16 years. My second favorite memory is the centennial year when we played New Ulm here and beat them 3-2 in a crowd of over 1,200 people.
What was your favorite team when you were growing up?
The Minnesota Twins. All right.
Oh, hi, I'm Roland McGraw from the suburb of Fairfax over here in Franklin. I'm 8 miles from here. McGraw is my name. I saw the old Washington Senators play in Washington back in 1952 before they came to Minneapolis here down to Bloomington.
What was it like watching the Senators play in Washington?
Well, that was really fun. Of course, I never saw a big league game before. You know, of course, and I saw some of them old-time players. And then I saw all the teams. You know, like Ted Williams. He played with the Red Sox, and I saw all the New York teams: the Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Giants, and New York Yankees all play. And then they had 2 teams in Philadelphia at that time too, big league teams, you know.
What is your favorite team?
Well, my favorite team right now is the Minnesota Twins.
What was your favorite team when you were growing up?
Well, the favorite team when I was growing up was the New York Giants, because Minneapolis was a farm club of the New York Giants. See, the Giants are San Francisco now, the San Francisco Giants.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Tom Wheeler.
What's your most favorite memory from watching baseball?
Oh boy, there's way too many. I've seen it all, Frank. Gosh, and doing the broadcasting that I do, I've seen a triple play, and in amateur baseball, and I've seen a ball hit the warning track, bounce over the fence, get ruled a home run. I've just seen great players. I've seen Tony O play. I've seen Harmon Killebrew play baseball, and Rod Carew and all those. I just have too many to narrow down just to one.
Where did you grow up, and what was your favorite baseball team?
Well, I grew up in Edina, Minnesota. I played for Edina West High School, and then about a year and a half at Minnesota State, now Minnesota State University.
What was your favorite baseball team when you grew up?
Oh, the Minnesota Twins.
And how about now?
Minnesota Twins.
Okay, I like your answer.
All right.
Thanks. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Julio Becquer.
How long have you been playing baseball?
I've played baseball about 20 years, and for Havana, Cuba, and I started playing in 1951 in Geneva, New York. And then from Geneva, New York, I'm always was in the Washington organization, and I go through the rank until I get to the big league in 1955 with the Washington Senators.
What's your favorite memory from playing baseball?
My famous memory was the first day I put the uniform and I participated in a game in the big leagues, which was my dream.
What position did you play?
I played first base, and even if I was a left-hander, I played third base in Louisville and American Association in 1956.
How good of you were at hitting? What was your batting average usually?
I was an average hitter. I was not a good hitter. I was an all-around ball player. I don't hit many home runs, but I got my share of base hits.
Did you play baseball where you grew up?
Yes, I play baseball almost every day. You know, things I said before, I was born in Cuba, and 365 days a year is almost like sunshine. So you can almost participate in any game that you play at outside all year round.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Good luck to you. Have a nice summer. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Julio.
You're welcome.
We're in trouble here, eh? Yeah, okay.
Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with.
My name is Tony Oliva.
How long have you been playing baseball?
Oh, long time before you born here. I've been playing baseball since I was 5 years old. That make it, I'm 65 now. I've been playing baseball for 60 years. I'm 43 as a professional. See, I go way back.
What was your favorite memory from playing baseball in the major leagues?
Oh man, I have a lot of great memories. I remember 1965 when we won the pennant, you know, American League pennant. Everybody was so happy, and we the #1, and that was great. But I have another memory. When I came to the big league in 1961, I was in the same clubhouse when Julio Becquer, Harmon Killebrew, Oliva, Camilo Pascual, Jim Curt, all those great ball players. That was a dream coming true.
What? Did you play outfield at all?
Yes, I played right field all my career.
I thought you were only a designated hitter.
Nah, that wasn't when I was old. I hurt my knee. But I was a right fielder for 8 years before that. I made the All-Star 8 years. Yeah, I was the best right fielder in the American League for 8 years. Remember that. Yeah, I was a great DH too.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Warren Cook.
How long have you been umpiring baseball?
This is my 25th year.
What's your favorite memory from umpiring baseball?
Oh, I've been into a few state tournaments, but I've had some very good games here at Fairfax. A lot of good memories here.
Do you ever get nervous during the game?
Well, sure. You know, when the game is on the line, you ask, what my favorite part of the game is. 3-2 on a 3-2 count. That's the umpire's pitch. And, if it's close, and it's on the corner, that's my pitch. And sure, you get nervous. We're only human, and sometimes we handle it better than other times.
What's your favorite memory from growing up playing baseball?
I didn't play baseball much. I started first made the high school team as a senior, so I got started late with baseball. But then I started to keep stats, and then that's how I got an umpiring. I didn't start umpiring until I was 30 years old.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about tonight?
Well, I think it was a very good game. It was nice to see Curt here, Curt Sampson. He left after 4 innings with a lead. He really pitched well. A good game. Went down to the last pitch, and everything I thought went great. We had a good crowd. Everything was fun.
Thanks for the interview. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Hi, this is Frank Fairchild with
Angel Munoz.
Angel Munoz Sr.
What was your favorite part of the game today?
When we came back.
Yeah, that was the best part. Actually, when I came up to the plate and thinking I was going to drive the winning run, but I got walked, so that was also awesome too.
Do you think the game was a good game tonight? I did.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful game. Both teams played hard. Pitching was great. Of course, Sampson threw a good 4 innings, so that was a plus. And we had a chance to come back, so yeah, it was great.
How was being bat boy?
Good.
What's your favorite position to play?
My favorite position would be third base, but I'm getting kind of older now, so I'm just all over the place where they need some help and somebody don't show up, or that's where I'm at.
When did you start playing baseball?
As with the Cardinals or overall?
Overall.
I started playing in '82 at 13, so ever since then I've been playing ball.
Do you have a favorite memory from playing ball?
Actually, yeah, and it happened here with the Fairfax Cardinals. I played all 9 positions and actually struck out a couple of guys, so yeah, that was a good memory.
What's your best memory from baseball?
First year being bat boy.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I just want to thank the Fairfax Cardinals for giving me the opportunity to play all these years, 12 now. So, and I hope to keep on playing longer. I want to be able to play with my son, actually in a game, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for the interviews, and good evening.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thank you.
This is Frank Fairchild signing off for KGFW. I hope you like our show. Good night.
I'm Keith Hartman.
Put Melius. I'm from Winter, Minnesota, and I never was so happy in all my life to be going to be inducted to the Minnesota Hall of Fame for baseball in September.
I'm Bill McGowan. I'm from Gibbon, Minnesota. I live in Fairfax now, and I was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1964.
What's it like to be inducted to the Minnesota Baseball Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a funny thing. The people that get inducted in this Hall of Fame sometimes have to have a lot of support. So this one shocked me because I don't know who did some of the work to get me in there, because it's so many years of baseball, and I hate to go back all these years, but some of it slips by.
What about you? What's it like to be inducted into the Minnesota Baseball Hall of Fame?
Real happy to be inducted. We were inducted in the second year that they had the Hall of Fame. And the first time they inducted about 30 people, and Ted Peterson, the sport writer from St. Paul, picked all the people. They had the state tournament in New Ulm that year, and the Hall of Fame meeting was held there. And I didn't make the first team, and I made the second year that they had the Hall of Fame.
When did you first start playing baseball?
Here we go back so many years ago. We never even had baseball in high school. So I would say I played against some wonderful teams from Lafayette. It must be in the high 30s, like 38, 39, because I went in the service in 42. So it had to be within that time. And it was big baseball those days, too. And I got out in 1946, and then we started playing higher baseball in what we call the Western Minnesota League, and Mr. McGowan knows what that is. I played with Gibbon a few years, and then I had to go to Winthrop because I worked in Winthrop for a boss by the name of Armin Schutte, who was such a big baseball man. So I had to go and play against my home team for a while. I mean, Winthrop was the home team, but I played for this McGowan that we're talking to quite a few years, and I thought he did a wonderful job for us.
What about you, Bill? When did you first start playing baseball?
I played 4 years in high school, in Morton. I came from Morton, Minnesota in 1931, and I played 4 years in high school. We had a real good coach. He was a right-handed first baseman. He played on a team that was a semi-pro team from St. Paul, the St. Paul Paper. And I played 1 year for Morton. After that, I moved to Gibbon in 31. I graduated in 1927. I played against Pud's older brother all the time in high school. George, wasn't it George?
You're right.
Yeah.
You got a wonderful,
Yeah, we played basketball in high school and baseball, and we took the train from Morton to Winthrop. On the noon train, we went to the game in Winthrop, and we come back home in the night train.
When were you first involved with amateur baseball?
Amateur baseball, it got to the point where I would say way back in the 1938s when Lafayette played, and I remember Tanny Anderson, and so does Mr. McGowan. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame, and they had quite some pitchers over there, too. But the thing I want to mention about our Western Minnesota, and Mac will have to agree, we played against pitchers that were out of one was out of Columbus by the name of Claire Stroman. They're probably AAA pitchers, and they called our Western Minnesota there on the end with such valuable pitchers from the cities. We had a Dick Lanahan pitching for Sleepy Eye during Mac's days, and my days that was a pitcher with the St. Paul Saints at that time. And we had wonderful ball players, and it started to get there for a while in the Western Minnesota that we were allowed to hire or to get 3 ball players from colleges to help out our teams once in a while. So it maybe got a little bit away on, but we usually had to give them jobs, so it wasn't called professional ball. But like the one that I worked for, Armin Schutte, we had 3 ball players there. From 1 year we had them from the University of Oklahoma, national champs, some of the players, and from the following year we had some from the University of Michigan that were all national champions. So it got to be where we were allowed by the amateur rules that we gave them jobs that they would be called amateurs.
When were you first involved with amateur baseball?
In 1931. I came to Gibbon, and they had a set ball club. I didn't make the ball club then, and I played for Morton for a couple of years, and then in 33 I started managing the Gibbon Ball Club, and I managed them till, for 15 years at least. And I became a regional commissioner, and I had baseball games all over the state of Minnesota after that, all the way out to from the Iowa border out to the South Dakota border. Yeah, we got a nickel a mile. That is it.
Did you guys ever play against each other?
No, we have never played against each other, but he was my manager for at least 2 years that I know of. I'm trying to figure out if it's another year tacked in there somewhere. But I knew all the fellows at Mac, when he came to Gibbon, I knew a lot of those ball players because I played with them. They were still there after Mac got there in 1946 because I knew the Gibbon people just as well as I know the Winthrop people.
What did you think of Pud when he played for you?
He was a good ball player. I was the manager, and he played shortstop, and I used to take infield after the infield did, and he always tried to knock me down, but he couldn't do it.
Who were some other good ball players that you played with?
Over at Gibbon, when I played with Gibbon, I remember Harry Pouts was the first baseman over there in Gibbon, and Mac does too. And I never seen a guy with the lousiest glove in all my times of baseball, but nothing got by him. And then Jack Becquer I got to know. That was another one from Gibbon, and Bob Schrader and Raleigh Frudenthal. And there's some Fredericks that were on the team once in a while. So Gibbon, I knew real well the ball players. And Mac said I played short, and once in a while I played in the Westerns third and second or short, wherever they maybe needed the guy.
What about you, Mac? Who were some of the good ball players you played with?
A whole bunch of Mel Walters was probably the best pitcher I've ever had. And I had some Minneapolis pitchers that were real good. And Taft Mickelson was a big man, and he played first base. He was the Gibbon first baseman when I moved to Gibbon. And he was a good hitter, but he didn't feel much ground. But we had a lot of good ball players in them days. Raleigh Frudenthal was a good ball player. Bob Schrader was probably the best guy that ever moved to town. He pitched batting practice for us every night and could pitch on Sunday besides. And Earl Walters was our third baseman. We had a good ball club in them days. We went to Arlington, the first game we played in Arlington says, and a guy by the name of Nowak was playing third base for Arlington. He said, you can't beat us with that bunch of kids, and we beat them 4-0. So I started a bunch of kids, high school kids, in my first town team.
What was the first Major League Baseball game you went to?
I think maybe way back when I was stationed in Boston in the service. The first game I think I ever saw was at the old Green Monster, they call their ballpark, and they don't want to change that yet to this date. But that's when I first saw Ted Williams play Major League Ball. And in fact, I was so close I could have caught him running down to first base when he ran.
The first big league ball game I think was in St. Paul when the St. Louis Cardinals come in there to play an exhibition game. Then in '64 I went to the World Series. Morrill Anderson and I went to the World Series and seen 2 games between the Yankees and St. Louis. Them were the greatest games I ever seen. And we had tickets for Friday and Saturday, and the Yankees were 1 game away from winning, but St. Louis wasn't. Joe Pepitone hit a home run, so we got to see 2 games. But I see the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Paul before. They're my favorite ball club now.
All right. Who are some of the Major League players you remember watching as a kid?
I watched one of the best pitchers that Cleveland ever had by the name of Herb Score. And the reason why I watched him because his catcher was a guy by the name of Jimmy Hegan. And this Jimmy Hegan was a catcher when I was stationed in the service, and I got to see him. And then, of course, then I watched Herb Score because he's about the best pitcher outside of Bobby Feller, of course. Cleveland is one of the best pitchers I ever seen.
Who are some Major League players that you remember watching as a kid?
I've always watched St. Louis a lot, and they had a big pitcher that pitched the day I was at the final game of the World Series, and he shut out the Yankees, and I think he was the best pitcher I ever seen.
Where did your town teams get their uniforms from and equipment?
Well, I think I can't remember too well where we got them, because the uniforms in my days, back in the 50s, were all woolen, heavy, warm, and everything else. Nowadays, they pick them up. Most everybody picks them up from Nicholson Athletic Company in New Ulm. Their uniforms are so much lighter and cooler and everything nowadays.
Where did your town teams get their uniforms from?
We did a lot of business with an outfit in Minneapolis. But after the war, we didn't have uniforms, we didn't have any bats, we didn't have any balls, and Raleigh Frudenthal, I went to the city, and we went to this store that sold this stuff, and I knew the general manager and the sales manager before the war, and I'd done some business with him, and we couldn't get a bat or a ball. The salesman kept telling us we don't have any, and I asked if I could see the manager, and he come out and he told me, well, just go home, we'll send you two dozen baseballs and 6 bats, and that's how we got started after the war.
Who was in charge of maintaining the baseball field when you guys played?
We had a fellow by the name of Henry Shower in Winthrop that was his pride and joy, though, to keep everything going down at the ballpark, and that included the ballpark. He saw that things were done by himself, I guess. It was a fellow I'll never forget all the work that he did for the city of Winthrop.
Who maintained the field for your ballpark?
Well, the cop cut the grass in the outfield, but I did the rest of the work. Every Saturday afternoon, I had an old truck, and I went down and dragged a plank around the infield. We had a lot of rocks on our infield. Puddle will tell you that, and after we dragged it, we had to pick up rocks. It was a little rough.
I think those days, people, after the war was over, that I never seen people going to so many ball games right after the war was over, which was, in my case, was back in, I went in 42 and came out 46, so in the neighborhood of 46. Well, I never seen so many people at ball games at that time. That was maybe just a little bit after the war was over back in 1942, but it seemed like they still had baseball in their minds, but those are some wonderful days, and that was right after the war, too.
How do you think the war affected baseball?
Well, it killed it to start with. We didn't have any baseball in Gibbon for 2 years. After the war, we come back and we started a new league. We had meetings in Fairfax once every 2 weeks for all winter, and before we got started, we started a new league. We called it the Indian Trail League. And I was elected president. I was president of that league for about 10 years. And we had 8 teams from around Gibbon and Fairfax, Franklin, all over. But it was hard getting started. But then I was a regional commissioner at that time, and I had, like Pud says, I had baseball games out in Madison, Minnesota, Ortonville, Dawson, and we had the biggest crowds. The first game we had in Madison, we had over 2,000 people. We lined them up inside the fence, about 5 deep. They sat on blankets. The grandstand was full. Ended up in a brawl, of course, between Madison and Appleton. We had a big time.
What's some advice you'd have for kids like me nowadays for baseball?
Well, Keith, now you're a sophomore in high school, do you? I don't know if you go out for baseball or not. Just try to be a good ball player, and some positions are what, if a guy has got the ability at all, take up a position in baseball that's, well, that's not so easy. I don't know what you play, Keith. What position do you play? Pitch. I think the best prospect to make a major league ball team is like Terry Stanback from New Ulm. The catchers are wanted so much all over the country, and the same way, if a pitcher is left-handed, they're also wanted. So some of the best positions, if you like catching, I would advise anybody that they all can go into catching, of course, but just work hard and go to college.
What's some advice you'd have for kids now?
When I first moved to Gibbon in '31, we had the kids had 2 ballparks, and they were playing ball every afternoon. I was around one of the parks or the other, and that's where Harry Pouts and Raleigh Frudenthal and all them kids got. There wasn't any jobs for them, and they stuck around, and they played ball. And you don't see anybody playing catch anymore. Like when I was in high school, I played catch every night, or we played some kind of baseball every day.
I'd like to thank you guys for interviewing with us today. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think it's been good, and I agree with Matt. I can go back to my days and a little after Matt, that people would come down to our ballpark when we played ball, and we do so many fans and games. People would come down just to watch us practice in winter.
I'll tell you a story about my oldest grandson. He's 30 years old, and he was in church a week ago Sunday, and he was outside of the church talking to his dad. They don't live together anymore, and a little kid came up about 10 years old and said to him, "You're an engineer, aren't you?" My grandson said, "Yeah, I'm an engineer." "And why?" And he says, "Well, my dad's an engineer too." So my grandson says to him, "Well, are you going to be an engineer when you grow up?" And he says, "Heck no, I'm going to be a big league ball player."